Hello everybody, and thank you once again for joining me. In this video I'm going to talk about my answer to Turbo Fog. My name is Justice, my handle is Sarcantuna. Please remember to subscribe for deck techs just like this and all the event videos that I'm going to end up doing. Is it just me, or is Turbo Fog out of control right now with Wilderness Reclamation and Teferi and all the counter spells one can imagine? It just seems like it's a little too out of control, so I put together a little deck. A control deck of my own that does not rely on Teferi as a win condition, because I hate playing that way. I'm not running Nexus of Fate, because and it is Esper colors, so it's going to be blue, white, and black. We'll go over the deck tech and then how we play it. I think it's going to be actually pretty susceptible to aggro, so if we get overrun by creatures early, that could happen, but that's a risk I'm willing to take, because I am playing with Unmoored Ego in attempt to remove Nexus of Fate from the game altogether, if we're into it. So that's my hope. Let's see what we got in the deck. I've got 2 Spell Pierces. This is one of my favorite counter spells, actually. It's only 1 blue, and it counters a non-creature spell unless they pay 2 more. But a lot of times your opponent will sell out to cast something, so you can just counter it. It's kind of nice. It's only 1 blue. I am playing 2 Revitalize, 2 casting, 1 and a white. You gain 3 life and draw a card. Very good for life gain and some sustainability versus aggro. I am not excited about playing this deck against like Mono Red Burn or Rakdos Burn or something like that. I think we will be quite susceptible excuse me, to a deck like that. So we'll see what ends up happening there. 1 Search for Azcanta, which is not so much the enchantment side, but the land side is super strong. Basically, at the beginning of your upkeep, and I learned something about this card today, at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may then put it into your graveyard. Then if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform, Search for Azcanta. That happens first, before anything else in your turn. So if you do things that affect your graveyard, Azcanta goes off first. So you could put something in your graveyard, then get it right back out, like Eldest Reborn. You could, if you look at something and you want it in your graveyard, like a Planeswalker, and then you have an Eldest Reborn on the 3rd tick of the saga, that would work in your favor by graveyarding and then playing it for free. On the land side, Azcanta the Sunken Ruin taps for 1 blue, or you can pay 2 and a blue, tap it, and look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal any non-creature, non-land card, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order, so you order them, and as well as put the one in your hand. You do have to reveal it, but it's like a really good version of Vivian's ability. 2 Discovery Dispersals. The Discovery side is 1 and a blue or a black. Surveil 2, then draw a card. Super strong. I like that part. And Dispersal is kind of neat too. For 5 mana, each opponent returns a non-land permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost. If there's a tie, they get to choose. And then they discard. So if they don't have a hand, they discard that card. It's pretty cool. 3 Thought Erasures. Good old 1 blue and a black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card. They discard that card, and then we surveil 1. I like that. 4 Sinister Sabotages. A 3 casting counter spell. And then you surveil 1. 2 Kaya, Urzov Usurpers. This is my pseudo kill card here. No, this is my kill card, yeah, pretty much. Exile exile up to 2 cards from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life if 1 creature was exiled this way. That's +1. Or -1, you exile a permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less, like tokens, works pretty good. And then -5, Kaya deals damage equal to a player equal to the number of cards they have in exile. So all the exiled cards that they own, she would do damage to them. 4 Mortifies. 1 a white and a black. We destroy target creature or enchantment. Very strong. Very strong. I love this card. Super great addition to Esper. Disinformation Campaign. When Disinformation Campaign enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and each opponent discards a card. When you surveil, return Disinformation Campaign to its owner's hand. Now, this is not a surveil deck, otherwise I would run more Disinformation Campaigns. This is more like just straight up control, so I don't mind having just a 1 of Disinformation Campaign. Also, 1 Unmoored Ego. I do want more of these in there, but I'm not convinced it's all that necessary. Removing 1 of their strong kill cards should be enough, but I might want to. I'm going to play with it, like if they have a Teferi come out and then they start doing Nexuses of Fates, but I think if they don't have a Nexus of Fate, the game is pretty much over at that point. Or, I mean, I could take out Runaway Steamkins, I guess. But you would search the opponent's graveyard, hand, and library. So if they have anything in play, it doesn't get exiled. That's kind of risky. 3 Chemister's Insights, which is just draw 2 cards for 4, and it jump starts. So you can discard other cards that you don't need if you're not playing against creatures. You won't need too many of the removal spells we have coming up, like Kaya's Wrath, for example. 2 white, 2 black, destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you controlled that were destroyed this way, which will always be 0 in this deck. Well, maybe not 0. We are running the Eldest Reborn as another win condition, but hardly ever. I don't think we would use the Eldest Reborn to get a creature than to Kaya's Wrath. I don't think that would happen. 1 Karn, Scion of Urza, reveals forecasting, legend or a planeswalker. 5 loyalty to start. +1 loyalty is to reveal the top 2 cards of your library. An opponent chooses one of them, put that card into your hand, and then exile the other one with a sliver counter on it. There's -1 as you get to draw from your sliver counter pile. That's actually stronger than I thought initially. It works out pretty good. And then as a -2, like this could also serve as a win condition or a kill card. Create a colorless construct artifact creature token with +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So they stack upon each other. So you have 3 of them that are 3/3/3s, and so forth. Which could work if you've controlled the game down to a point where Karn is the only thing left on the battlefield. You would win. Good old The Eldest Reborn. A 5 casting saga. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. On the second tick, each opponent discards a card. People forget about that all the time. We end up discarding. And then the third tick is you get to bring a planeswalker or creature from any graveyard into the battlefield right away without paying the mana cost. Super nice. 2 Syncopates. Good old 1 blue and an X, and then you counter that spell unless they pay X, which obviously you want to make sure you have the mana for. If that spell is countered, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. This is strong for early removal of pesky spells we don't want to come back, but not that great if you want to counterspell a planeswalker. Notice there are no Vraska's Contempts in here because I do rely on the Eldest Reborn to bring a planeswalker back of theirs if I don't have a good one. And then I can, or if I don't have one in my graveyard at all, then I can use that as a win condition as well. Most planeswalkers by themselves have some sort of win condition built in, and then you can work with it as long as you got the control down. 3 plains, 6 islands, 9 swamps, 1 glacial fortress, it's all I got. 1 godless shrine, it's all I got. 2 isolated chapels, and then 4 drowned catacombs. I was super excited about Dimir. I thought Dimir would be the best deck in the world. It is not. So I made 4 drowned catacombs before, right around after the wipe, and then, whatever. Mistakes were made. It's fine. It's fine. So let's see how we're playing. I think we're in the gold tier after, and we'll just go straight to ranked. I'm fine with that. After the new season has come out today. So we are in the gold tier. I thought if you were in mythic or above, you got busted down to gold. And I thought I'd be in silver because I finished at diamond tier 4. But as it turns out, I'm gold tier 3, I think. So I'm not too upset about that. No white mana. But I do like having a drowned catacombs early. And a couple swamps. Plus I do have a chance of playing into Karn, which will invariably be a land draw because they always give you the land. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. And I'm going to drop the swamp first. Not the drowned catacombs, even though it comes into play tapped. And you might think that on turn 2 it is untapped, and that's fine. However, I could draw into an isolated chapel. There's a 2 in 53 chance that happens, so I want to make sure that I have the option to play that untapped as well. So he's got a Misplaced Herald down. That's not ideal. I will need white mana for Kaya's Wrath, but I have a feeling that's going to come in handy. So if he's got 1 mana available, I'm going to simply assume it is for a dive down. And doesn't matter if you dive down because it destroys all creatures anyway. So here comes... Oh, he's doing mono blue tempo with a Terramander. It's just Terramander. Well, this is not an ideal start. I've got nothing to play. I should have taken a mulligan. Hopefully he doesn't have a Tempest the Djinn. That wouldn't be ideal. For 8 mana, it becomes a 5/5. Ain't bad. What is with all the swamps? Okay. Well, I am going to take a risk here and try and play Karn. He's got fully 3 mana right there, so this is probably going to get countered. Yep. Gotcha. tricksters down. He's figured I don't have it. He must be saving. He must be sitting on all the counter spells there too. So I'm going to try an Eldest Reborn. This could be as simple as that because he might have all the counters necessary to win this game. I can't draw into enough white mana to play Kaya's Wrath, but I can try an Eldest Reborn again and hope. Wait, this is looking a lot like just straight up Dimir control. Okay, so he doesn't have another counter spell. That's encouraging. There goes probably his Mistcloak. Sure. Then he's going to discard if I can draw into some white mana. Maybe one day. Maybe not. Maybe there's not enough. Maybe I should look at the mana base. Okay, he discards that card. I'm going to play Revitalize. Again, this is pretty much the whole point of Revitalize. Oh boy. So I'm going to take 5, play my Godless Shrine, pay 2 life to have it come into play. Oh, that's game. Okay, so the Pteramander wins the game. It's only 6? Well, one more turn we could have won that game, so I'm not too disappointed with that performance right away. And I should have taken a mulligan. That hand was a little slower than I wanted. It's control, it's going to be a little slow. And I was on the play, so I probably want some faster counter spells. We live and learn. Plus there's destined to be some jank out there right now, so Mortify would have come in handy, although my white mana base looks a little off. I'm going to hang on to this anyway because I've got a nice Thought Erasure, Syncopate, and a Sinister. Really? This stuff again? Pteramander and mono blue tempo must be strong. Oh, it costs 1 less for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. Okay. Okay. So now he discards, so Chart a Course goes in there, and he could also put in another sorcery to make that, well, he does a land. It doesn't lower the price of that counter for me. And I'm going to do Thought Erasure, which is going to make his Pteramander's ability a little stronger, though I don't need... Ooh. Well, what do we do? So we can mortify the Tempest the Djinn. I'm going to get rid of the Curious Obsession. This deck relies heavily on card draw. And I'm going to hang on to that Syncopate for show. So I want to get rid of the Curious Obsession because I know his card draw is going to come into play here real soon, and that's not great. The Tempest the Djinn is my mortify target. If I can get a white mana source. Okay, got that. Do we go with Syncopate or Sinister? I'm going to go with Sinister early for the Surveil and ditch anything that's a non-white mana source. So we really got to get rid of that Tempest. Oh, there we go. Got it. It may not be enough. I get that. This is only turn 4, and he was on the play, playing a strong tempo deck, so it's only 1 cheaper. He needs 6 mana to pull that off, and I'm going to mortify the dude. What are the odds this is a counterspell that we can't see? Oh, I hope not. Okay, good deal. Just need to survive a couple more turns. Opt, this is strong with Opt. So now that's going to cost him 6. Opt is in there. Another Tempest the Djinn that I can't counterspell. That was a terrific pull. Well, he's got enough to win the game now. This isn't good. So we're not very good against mono blue tempo. He plays 1 more sorcery, instant or sorcery spell. Chart a Course. He could Okay, so let's see what we got here. I don't want to tap all of my blue. We'll drop Karn, hopefully. Maybe he's got a counterspell. Okay, he lets Karn through. I can't block. Well, he's one land away from winning. No, alright. He plays one land, I take 7. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's anything I can do about these early creatures. I'm just saving the 1 mana for a syncopate just in case he plays he doesn't have anything for 5. He's got the game. Yeah, Trickster down. I can't stop it. And that's enough to end it. Well, he might misplay it and attack Karn by accident with his Tempest Djinn, which would make me happy, but he's not going to. Okay. Well, okay. Mono blue. I don't think mono blue is going to be very good against the mono red anymore, not with Skargan Hellkites in there. But it is strong against this version of a control deck. I was expecting to see more Turbo Fog decks. That was all that I was playing against yesterday, and now they're nowhere to be found after putting together a deck just to face them. So if we get another mono blue deck, this is going to be a little tricky. Yep. Okay, I've got to take a look at the white mana source in here. It's not coming up like I need it to. Maybe instead of Drowned Catacombs, more even of like the white mana tap lands. That's what I'll do. Yeah, this is definitely a keeper hand though. I got Thought Erasure. We got Kaya. We got a counterspell. Okay, he's also got Duress. That's interesting. What does he take, Kaya? Just because she's a planeswalker? It's kind of scary. Or does he take Thought Erasure and he takes away my ability to see what he's got? One of those two would be the right answer in this case. I think Mortify is safe. It doesn't, from the look of just by him playing Duress, does not appear that he's going to be playing creatures. So it's a toss-up. You would want to take Kaya or Thought Erasure. You couldn't go wrong with either one of those. If he takes the Mortify, Thought Erasure, yeah, so he's effectively blinded me and slowed me down a turn, so he's made a wise choice there. Oh, that's weird. Okay, pretty much whatever he plays, I'm going to have to counter. Yeah, I need to... Okay, so the Drowned Catacombs should be swapped out for a white and a black? Yeah, it should be white and black. Swings in for 1. That's okay. He's going to have Assassin's Trophies, which I will happily take the mana in place of. Let's build up some loyalty first. Before we go making enchantments, reveal the 2. So we get an island. They always give you the land. This could be a good example of how powerful Karn is. Although he's not doing traditional Golgari, because Duress doesn't normally go in that deck. This was a surprise. We could trade 1 for 1 all day long between Wild Growth Walker and Karn. I'd like to see him play more creatures, and I would like to have enough to do Akaya's Wrath and do a board wipe for him. It's one of the weaknesses of Golgari's board wipes.
Please stop.
That actually works out in my favor pretty strongly. Oh, I should not have done that. I should have done this first, and then if he gave me a white mana source, I played the white mana source, though he can see my hand, so... Okay, that's terrific. So the Eldest Reborn goes to the exile pile. Unless he gives me an Eldest Reborn, in which case I could play it pretty effectively. I didn't think so. Yep. We'll drop this information campaign, and then if he plays a land into like a Vivian or Vraska or something, I could spell pierce it down. So that's good. Good for me. He's got a discard also. Cool. Yeah, cast down's not doing him much good. And, okay, so the ooze doesn't get pierced. That's doesn't work that way.
This will not differ.
Okay, so check this out. We're gonna pay 2 life. We're gonna play Kaya. We're gonna use her -1 ability to kill the token. We're gonna use Karn's. We're gonna use Karn's ability. We're gonna go ahead and draw our Eldest Reborn out.
Action is needed.
He knows we have it, and I'm okay with that. He can know about it. And oh, it's gonna automatically divert turns. That's fine. And then we will have the option to mortify the biogenic ooze. He could kill one of my planeswalkers. That's okay. I've got an Eldest Reborn. I'm not countering Llanowar Elves. That's fine. Counter the next thing. Good move. So remember, the ooze gets mortified. So Karn lives, and I can pull a counter spell if I need to. And we will definitely mortify this guy. I don't want him alive. I really got to stop playing land so fast. So Karn's at 3. It's a good chance he dies, and then I lose a counter spell until I bring him back with the Eldest Reborn. Okay, cool. So no doubt he gives me card draw over mortify. Yeah. Yep, and now I sit on that. That is fine with me. I can counterspell something, and then get Disinformation Campaign back, play it. Nah. Any kind of planes gives me Kaya's Wrath, which I'm good with. So this deck was weak against mono blue, but I did face some decent draws. Looks like Terramander does belong in the deck. He's going to kill Karn for sure. He's tired of Karn doing his thing. Yep. It's too early to Chemister's Insight, so now I'm going to Chemister's Insight. Let's Discovery and look for a white mana source here. There is none. I'll ditch the swamp. Draw the Syncopate. Let's give a quick count to the cards in my hand here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand. That gives me 8 cards in hand. I could take a chunk of damage and be okay with that. Or I could drop the Eldest Reborn now. But that doesn't give me enough mana to make moves on his turn. I do have to get rid of a card, so I may as well drop a Mortify on the Walker. Just in case he's got some explorations going on, and that gives me enough to play a counter spell on his turn. Oh, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. And then I don't have to discard a card. I can save something for Chemister's Insight. I've got a whole lot of options ready to go for next turn. So I'm making him discard something, for sure. I'm going to do Disinformation Campaign. So he discards, I draw. Did not get what I was hoping for. Gives me 8 cards, no problem. I can take 4 3 more times. Still waiting on that white. So he discards a Hydroid Krasis, which doesn't do me any good. Trying to reborn it. You know what I'm saying? Because X is going to be 0. Anytime you reborn an X of card, it's always going to be 0. So that's not a good choice. The Ooze isn't a bad choice, actually. I could protect it. Yeah, we're missing white mana sources. Okay, so let's modify the deck after this game. We'll swap out Drowned Catacombs with even just the white and black tap land. I'd be okay with that. Oh boy. Well, let's do the Eldest Reborn. Bye-bye Llanowar Elves. And then he discards anyway. So I've got, as long as I can get a white mana source and play Kaya's Wrath, I've got the game kind of locked down for him. So he's got to be a little frustrated with this nonsense I'm pulling. Do I Chemister's Insight on his turn and discard a... I do indeed. Let's discard a Spell Pierce. I think he's got enough mana now to pay for it, so I don't think I'm going to need that, as opposed to like my Sinister Sabotages. And there we go. So it's an... So now discard. Yep. He saved a... Okay. We'll do a discovery. No, we won't. I put too many cards in our hand, so we'll wait. We'll be patient. This is control. We do most of our interactions on our opponent's turn. We're okay with this. Wild Growth Walker. I'm going to straight up counterspell this one, and then try and syncopate of 2 the next one. He's only got 6 mana. I'm going to keep the plains. Thank you. So not too bad. Not too bad of a display here in this game. It's pretty good. None of these creatures help me out here. Oh, I'm going to take the ooze. Yeah. Well, but I can't make more oozes. So I would just have to rely on the 2 oozes. Yeah, we are going to counter... Okay, so he gets the life gain and the cards out of it, but then we counterspell the creature. Okay. Yep. Of course it is. Okay, well that makes this easy. We're going to grab Kaya. We're going to grab from my graveyard. We're going to grab Kaya. Here she comes. We're going to use the -1, kill the Llanowar Elves.
The smell.
We will save the disinformation campaign. I know he can see it. We'll pass turn. Boy, I'm really without a counterspell though, aren't I? I should have drew cards. Okay, I'm fine with that. We can dispersal it if we have to, you know what I'm saying? If this ends up being a land, okay, I can see it, so I'm okay with that. He plays it, that's perfect. Okay, so let's do dispersal on... Do I have to target the opponent? He discards, we'll use Kaya's ability. Grab the ooze, and we'll grab... I don't like him having... I don't think he's got any abilities to bring him back from the graveyard, just in case. I don't want that to be a thing. I'll wait till he won't save a card because of disinformation campaign. I know it. Not even a Llanowar Elf. Who does not get a Mortify. This is what Kaya's job is.
Those gone?
I could really use Karn back from like an Eldest Reborn, because I can grab, well, This is interesting. Yep, I'm gonna let it resolve. Doesn't much matter what he chooses. I only have one disinformation campaign in there, but he's gonna be playing through his deck at this point just to fight through the control. That might work out pretty good for him too. Gosh, I might get rid of this information campaign. That's a strong card draw for me. Okay, looks like I'm a little heavy in swamps, yeah? Oh, we took Kaya's Wrath. It's interesting. So I'm going to play the Eldest Reborn. I know it doesn't have a creature, but I want to tick it off so I can get Karn back out there doing his job. We'll do a creature, we'll do a duress. Gain a little bit of life back. Be happy with that. Actually, I'm going to want to draw a card. He knows my hand now, and now by doing that, he can't see that thought erasure, so hopefully he thinks it's some pretty scary business. He can't hold this. It discards by the Eldest Reborn. It's a little forest anyways. We'll do a little bit of this action. We'll do one creature and one non-creature. Alright, we'll exile him. And now he's starting to see the kill card here. So he's got 8 cards, and she'll do 8 damage with her ultimate ability there. Thought Erasure is cool, but doesn't do anything just yet because he doesn't have a hand. I could still play it just for the Surveil. Now he can hang on to a card. I don't think he will. He might. Okay, so now I can... In my turn, he's going to expect... Or maybe he's got a... Maybe he's got a Vraska's Contempt he's going to try and play. I'm going to grab my counterspell back, which he can freely see. Do an Aura Elf and a Duress. I don't think he's fishing for graveyard cards. We'll do a Thought Erasure. He is playing blue. It's interesting. Yep, Cast Down goes bye-bye. We Surveil. I don't want the land right now. I'm good with that. Then we pick up our Disinformation campaign, and it's working pretty decently. Cool. Now I could make, you know, tokens with Karn if I needed to. This is the point where I want to get with this deck, where the game is effectively over. I'm going to let him have the Branch Walker. Let's see what he... Before we resolve the Branch Walker, he's got a Chupacabra. Okay. She might save. I'm just going to mortify this guy. He's going to play the Chupacabra without a doubt. Okay, that works. It works well. Take care of a Cast Down and a Krasis. So I've got an Eldest Reborn again. So he could play the Chupacabra targeting nothing, and then I can Eldest Reborn. If he doesn't play the Chupacabra, I will Disinformation campaign and cause him to discard it. Let's draw more cards before we create artifact creature tokens, though. Cool. That's going to be a land in our hand for sure. Cool. Doesn't matter if Kaya's in there the second time. Doesn't do much good in my hand because she's got 6 loyalty anyways. Actually, I would have almost reversed that. And okay, so there he goes. So now he's got the creature down. I feel like letting him have any creatures at this point would be a mistake. And I think we want to save the Syncopate to counterspell a Hydroid Krasis. that the X was huge against. So I'm going to do Sinister Sabotage as a hard counter. I like Revitalize. Let's do Karn's ability again. Okay, now we'll start making some tokens.
I'll make use of that later.
That's fine. I don't care which land it's going to be. Yep, I guess we'll do another one. Cool. Works out. I've seen Ravenous Chupacabras come back from the dead, and I don't want that to happen.
Really good advantage.
Now you could, if you're looking for life again, you could do this one at a time, so you could do one creature a turn. But there's no reason for that. I think this guy's curious about my win condition here. He's like, how are you going to win this game? Well, in 3 turns, I can make him take 14 twice. So check this out. We're going to do Kaya's -5 on this guy, and he's going to take 14. And I'm going to gain 14, and he still has 14 cards exiled.
Are you certain of your
That's the win condition right there. So Unmoored Ego goes away. I wonder if when I play Unmoored Ego, I've never played it before yet. I wonder if when I play it, it lets me see his deck list first, or do I have to pick a card? Because I can search his... No, I have to name a card first. Then search his graveyard, hand, and library, and exile up to 4 cards with the name. So I don't want to do that just yet. Oh, he gave me the Unmoored Ego instead of the counterspell? Yeah, go for it. I can't believe he's sticking this game out. That's pretty cool. Karn's at 7 loyalty. He can make 3 tokens. So yeah, I mean the game's over. I don't think this deck would do very good against mono red either. I think mono red would come in way too fast for me, of course, and just punch so hard that I just die. I don't like him playing with duress. It's not my friend. It's a good addition though. I wonder what he took out. Okay, so let's do... I feel like just drawing a card would be a good option right here. That's fine. I could use some planes. And we'll start making artifact tokens.
great power in the thief, men.
We'll give him a Chupacabra target. That might make him feel better. Playing these decks is so slow. Most of the time people just quit when the game gets to this point, but this guy is not giving up. Makes you wonder what he's holding on to, like when they wait, he's looking at enchantments. Maybe he's finally got a Assassin's Trophy. Oh, maybe that's what he took out for duress. Maybe now he plays it. Is it an instant? To cast down for my construct token? Vraska's. No, you're not gonna... No. Yep, that stays there. A whole lot of stuff's gonna happen here. This information comes back. I surveil 1, I surveil 2. 1 for the counterspell, 1 for the other guy. Go ahead and play Search for Azcanta. We'll drop another token. So I think the tokens are gonna win before Kaya gets back up to 5. But Kaya in a control deck like this is also a win condition. I could exile all of his Vraskas. And then this is also a healthy combo here. Unmoored Ego gets rid of a card you hate to see, and then that goes into exile, so Kaya's -5 also wins you the game. So yeah, one more token from Karn hits for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, so we'll just syncopate that thing for 10. All the mana. I'm running 26 mana in the deck, so it doesn't hurt. There's everything else in his hand. I can clearly see that. We will... yeah, we'll graveyard the land. We'll flip Escanta, right? Transform. Yep. I'm pretty sure this is game. I'm pretty sure, right? So he's got nothing in his graveyard. This is terrific.
Right, that's what I do.
We will make a creature. These are 3/3s. All of a sudden they attack for 6. Yeah. So a couple of win conditions. And I don't mind losing them early. And that's kind of fun. This is what separates like pro players from like amateurs like me, is that they can sit here and play like this all day. Control is, man, it takes a while, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we could win again and get up another pip. But the gameplay is a little slower, especially if your opponents put you through it like that and they make you play and they make you play and they make you play. It's like, man, all right. I do that against, I'm part of the anti-Teferi crowd. I really don't think that's something that we should do. So now, oh, this is interesting. So now I've got white but no blue. I'm gonna have to mulligan. I can't do no blue because there's nothing I can do early, and I could very well be dead by turn 5. So yeah, that has to be a mulligan again. Oh boy. Well, this is. Oh, I forgot to go in and make my fix my land base. Although pretty much any land will give me the 4 I need to do a Kaya's Wrath, so hopefully that helps me out. Boy, this is crappy right here. This could suck. And this is mono red. Okay, cool. So we'll get to see it against mono red. Die, Esper Control, die. I would sub in like Cry of the Carnarium in the sideboard. That would wipe all this stuff out nicely. Oh, excellent. Check this out. Bam, you get exiled,
Somebody
punk.
bothering me. I'll make them understand.
That was nice. And if I draw into a blue mana source, actually that might be the savior there. 3, well, that still sucks right here. Man. And then if he's running shock, he could shock and then hit me for another 5 more, beat 11. It's tough. And if for some reason I don't draw land with all this land in here, man. That's what I thought. He attacks Kaya. Excellent. I don't want to take the damage anyways. Yep. The blue is killing me. This is weird. I didn't even hit my land drop. In a control deck, that is death. So we're for sure going to lose this whole game now. He's got 6 mana to play with right here too. This could be the game. He could. No? Are you kidding me? Alright. I didn't think we'd do well against mono red, but I did not think we would get mana screwed that bad against mono red. That's so weird. Okay, one more. Let's see what we got. So it's not an anti-aggro deck, that's for sure. And I forgot to, you know, I don't know. I'm on the fence with this mana base. I didn't get the white I needed in a couple of games. I didn't get the blue I needed in a couple other games. Well, could just be a matter of not having all the rare lands you need. Oh, I go first again. Blue and black, but I've got some blue to play with. Okay. And if I happen to draw into white, I can vitalize. That's nice. Ooh. So, if this works, you will see how effective Kaya is against mono white aggro. They're all one casting, and Hunted Witness doesn't trigger the 1/1. because he's exiled, he doesn't die. Okay. Okay, let's go a little slow. Let's mortify this dude. And then we'll see what he does next turn. Well, he could be on Benelish Marshall here. That would not be ideal. Okay, alright. Rats. Okay, let's take this risk. This is... If he did like Snubhorn Sentry instead of Benelish Marshall, we would be in business. Because these guys just straight get exiled. They don't get a chance to do anything. I think that's pretty hilarious. So I'm on a counter spell. Oh, Chemister's Insight. Okay, this is risky. Yeah, he played that nicely because I could have exiled and I wouldn't have any fear of Kaya going away right now. But now I do. So I could really use Kaya's Wrath. I've got the mana for it at this point. Would really be nice. That was a good choice of his so we could kill her. But Kaya's Wrath puts the game away. It's not going to happen though. Okay, so I want to revitalize myself. Okay. I would rather sabotage what he's got and hopefully either surveil into it, because that could be a land. Like he could be sitting on plains right there, so I don't want to Thought Erasure nothing away and then he draws into Pride of Conquerors or Legion's Landing and gets another creature and then gets another land. I don't think so. I'm just going to counter everything he does. Didn't really matter. Discovery Dispersal goes away. I am on the hook for removal at this point. I must have taken out Ritual of Soot. It is not Akaya's Wrath. That is not ideal. So, Surveilled's not going to do us any good. So against aggro, we're doing pretty poorly, and I guess that's to be expected with control, so I should have graveyarded that. I don't know what I'm doing. We're too far away from any kind of removal for this, so it's too much. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe you settle the wreckage just in case. There is a good amount of aggro this time around, which is actually, this is encouraging. This makes me happier than seeing 150 control decks in a row. So this deck did appear to be very effective against Teferi / Turbo Fog, but not very effective against aggro. So I wish we could have seen it against another control deck, but such is life. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy your playing times, and leave me some suggestions about what you might do differently with this deck. You know, we'll play with it a little bit. Maybe we'll revisit it in the future. Thanks so much. Have a good night.